I'm going to talk about anxiety. So I've suffered with anxiety for a lot of my life. I didn't used to even realize that I had anxiety. Probably because it's like the water we swim in. When we're feeling anxious, we don't even realize we're anxious. And so people who are watching this video now, you might not even think you have anxiety or that you suffer from anxiety. And maybe as I describe some of the symptoms, you'll maybe come to realize that you suffer or you have some kind of anxiety going on. So anxiety manifests for me, or it has manifested for me in the past, as obsessive thinking and worrying about things in the future. So having lots of thoughts about things that could go wrong, all the things I have to do, a feeling of pressure, like I've got so much to do and so many different things I need to do, and I don't know what to do first because they're all urgent, they're all high priority. So there's a feeling of urgency and a closing in, like everything's closed in and there isn't time, there isn't space, and it's almost like a panicky kind of feeling. We waste a lot of energy and a lot of time with this kind of way of being. I mean, it also shows up as people saying they're busy. It's like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, you know, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and then this happened, that, and it's like rushing around, and it's a pressured speech, pressured feeling of like, I've got so much to do and I'm so busy. And it's like, if you find that you're really busy, it may be that you're feeling anxious. If you keep forgetting things, if you find you have to do things over several times, if you're not enjoying the process of what you're doing, perhaps it's because you're feeling anxious. If you find it hard to go to sleep at night because of thinking and worrying, then perhaps you're feeling anxious. I used to, early in my career as an engineer, I used to drink coffee at work, this really strong coffee. It was the kind of coffee that would kind of make me go like this, and I would, because it was so intense, and yet I would keep drinking it for some reason. And I used to sleep for about 4 hours a night to try and get more done, you know, and I used to lie awake at night worrying that the part of the product, the chip that I was designing would not work, or there'd be a problem with it, or it wouldn't get done on time. And it's only recently that I've realized it was probably because I was drinking this really strong coffee all the time that I felt that I was having those issues, which is really I was having a lot of anxiety and having trouble sleeping. So if you drink a lot of coffee, especially in the afternoon or late afternoon, you may want to look at whether reducing your coffee intake, caffeine intake, could reduce the amount of anxiety you're experiencing. And another thing is there have been studies on mice that show that they took a bunch of mice and they sterilized them so they didn't have any bacteria in their intestines at all. And then they threw them into some water and they watched them, and they saw that all of them were kind of struggling for a couple of minutes, and then they started to just give up. They just kind of panicked, and then they used up all their energy and they gave up and they started to drown. And then they took half of those mice and they gave them healthy gut flora, bacteria, probiotics, and then they put them back into the water, and the mice with the gut bacteria, healthy gut bacteria, would swim and just keep on calmly swimming and looking for a place to get out of the water for a long time. I'm not sure how long, but a long time they were doing that. They never went into a panic mode, they never gave up. And the mice which weren't given, the control group, which weren't given the bacteria, did the same thing of like just giving up and drowning and panicking and drowning and so on. So another thing you can do is if you're experiencing anxiety is you can try taking a daily probiotic pill. And they're expensive, but try taking them and see how it changes your anxiety levels, and it might be that it's well worth it. It's well worth the cost of taking a probiotic. And then for me, I've been doing this 2 hours of Vipassana meditation every day for 3 months now, and I don't have very low levels or non-existent anxiety now. And so that's another thing. Meditation and mindfulness can really, really help reduce anxiety. Oh, and there's the thing. So the number of hours that probably people waste every day because of panicking, because of stress, because of not paying attention, because of lack of creativity, running around like headless chickens, must be at least a third of their time and energy, which, in a 24-hour day, that's 8 hours of time that's essentially wasted. So if you're spending 2 hours meditating, or an hour even meditating, that's to save 8 hours and make the other, the whole day much more productive. That's well worth it. That's a good investment of your time as well. And the other thing you can do to reduce anxiety is to exercise. Everyone really should be exercising every single day, and I try to exercise most days, an hour of CrossFit, some kind of intense exercise every day.